I would love to talk a little bit about your family heritage. And I didn't know this until doing some research, but you have this fascinating, Lithuanian, Polish, Jewish heritage, and then Irish Catholic heritage.
Yeah.
So let's begin with the Lithuanian, Polish, Jewish heritage. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I guess it's a fascinating story where my maternal great-grandfather was an Orthodox rabbi in Poland. And so somehow, and this is a story I probably need to dig into more with my mom and her sister, the siblings, in fact, all but her father, I think had some sense that trouble was brewing in Europe. And
this is like 1930s.
Yeah. Into the 40s even, I think. I'd have to go back and look and see what year my grandfather came over. But, it's interesting. So he was Polish, had wanted to play professional soccer in Europe. And I think that's one of the reasons he was actually reluctant to leave. But again, another piece of the puzzle that is a little unclear to me. His two brothers had started a textiles company in New York, and he did not want to go to New York. For some reason, he said, I will go manage a factory in Dixon, Tennessee. And that is where he met my maternal grandmother, whose family was Lithuanian. And she had come down from Pennsylvania, I think, because we were seeing a little bit of depression recovery occur in the factory capacity in the South. And so the Dixon part of my story starts there. And that's where my mom and her sister grew up. And then my mom goes off to Washington University in St. Louis, in the late 60s, early 70s, meets my dad, who's from an Irish Catholic family that started out in Chicago. But, they eventually, he and the brothers closest to him, and so his one sister grew up in Clinton, Maryland for most of their upbringing. And so by the time we were born, my brother and I, we'd go up to the Clinton house, and my paternal grandfather, had been a nuclear researcher. And it's such an interesting thing to think about because my understanding is he got there without a college degree. But then by the time of his death from cancer, the government actually paid out a settlement to my grandmother because it was pretty clearly a case of exposure to radiation at a time when the understanding of the need to protect yourself against that would not have protected him. And so he died when I think I was about 6 years old. I think, my mom carries probably a lifelong amount of heartbreak that my brother and I did not get to meet either of her parents because they both died when she and her sister were pretty much coming of age and becoming, young women themselves. And so I know I got to meet my paternal grandfather, but not past the age of early childhood. And then my paternal grandmother lived to be 90. And for a brief moment, when my nephew was born, who was the first of that generation of cousins, we had 4 generations of the family of O'Connells together in one space to celebrate my grandmother's 90th birthday.
Wow. So, your great-grandfather who stays in Europe, what happens with him?
Widely assumed, I think, within the family that he perished in the Holocaust. And so the rest of the family came over, the other brothers having the business, in a couple factories down here. I think there was a factory in Brewston, maybe one other city. But you can still see the building just off of the town square in Dixon, Tennessee.